Good morning. Welcome to our November State Board meeting. And even though it's a bit nippy out there, we will proceed. Denise, will you please call the roll?
Lisa Fricke.
I knew she was going to go first. Almost said amen. Here. I'm sorry.
Patsy Ko-Johns.
Here.
Rachel Wise.
Present.
John Witzel.
Here.
Molly O'Halloran.
Present.
Patricia Tim.
Yes.
Maureen Nichols.
Present.
Patrick McPherson.
Yes.
Commissioner Bloomstead.
Present.
All present.
Will you please stand and join me with the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Information regarding the Open Meetings Act is posted on the east wall of this room on the south side of the door. Live web streaming will be available through the State Board of Education website, which is www.education.ne.gov/stateboard. I want to remind board members to engage their microphones before speaking, to turn them off when they are done, and please turn off any personal cell phones. Thank you. Okay, we will move to item 2. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the October 5th and 6th, 2017 State Board of Education meeting?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Denise, will you please call the roll?
Patricia Tim.
Yes.
Patrick McPherson.
Yes.
Maureen Nichols.
Yes.
Molly O'Halloran.
Yes.
Rachel Wise.
Yes.
John Witzel.
Yes.
Lisa Fricke.
Yes.
Patsy Ko-Johns.
Yes.
8 yes.
The motion passes. Commissioner, are there any recommended changes for today's agenda?
No recommended changes.
Okay, is there a motion to approve today's agenda?
Make the motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded, and the second was either Rachel or Pat. It's kind of a tie. Whatever. Is there any discussion? Okay, Denise, please call the roll.
Molly O'Halloran.
Yes.
Patrick McPherson.
Yes.
Patricia Tim.
Yes.
Maureen Nichols.
Yes.
Lisa Fricke.
Yes.
Patsy Ko-Johns.
Yes.
John Witzel.
Yes.
Rachel Wise.
Yes.
8 yes.
Motion passes. Now we move into item 4, our public comment period. We have no special presentations in our public comment period, but we do have 3 of the public who would like to address the board. The first one is Carrie Reed. You will have 5 minutes.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. I am Corey Reed. I am from the Elkhorn Public School District. I'm a parent, and so I'm here just to give some remarks. I'm a mother of 4 children, the oldest a senior in college, and the youngest is a sophomore in high school, all of them spending substantive time in their academic careers in Nebraska public schools. So I want to say, first of all, thank you very much for that. I'm here today to thank the board and Department of Education for the work on dyslexia and to encourage the work to continue, especially with Legislative Reg 222 and the interim study that's happening with Senator Pansing Brooks. 2 months before his senior year, we, his parents, took our 3rd child to a licensed psychologist out of state for 2 days of testing after a persistent nudge told us that something was not right. Note, we only went out of state because we didn't know what to do. And so we just had a resource, and so we did that. He was getting good grades in school, but his standard tests were not so good. He's a savvy, smart kid, and he really figured out how to make it work for 11 years till we all figured this out, what was happening. As it turns out, after 11 years of schooling, the psychologist confirmed that he has dyslexia with word reading in the 8th percentile. Well, we as his parents felt tremendously guilty. We found comfort in finding the Nebraska Dyslexia Association and the Nebraska Department of Education's technical assistant document for dyslexia. It was very helpful. So again, thank you for that. As Senator Pansing Brooks and others work on LR 222, the interim study to examine dyslexia and reading literacy, we encourage the State Board of Education to continue this work and support school training. As we proceed on championing for our own son, we've encountered some challenges in pursuing a 504 plan and the appropriate tools that help him with dyslexia. We've gotten comments from teachers and administrators, including, he has good grades, he's doing okay, he does not need accommodations. Or, we don't want to over-accommodate him since his grades are okay. Giving him formulas would not be fair to other students. Wouldn't everyone be better if they had a person reading to them? I had dyslexia when I was a kid. I share these not as a criticism of these smart, capable individuals, but as a way to encourage continued dyslexia training and education throughout the state. We don't want or won't allow our son to fail or get frustrated before accommodations are granted. Evidence shows that it is equitable to equip students with learning challenges with tools, and dyslexia does not go away. Our son is now in Norton Gillingham training, something we fund support outside of school. While relearning his vowel sounds as a senior is frustrating at first, he is progressing with the help of his OG tutor. He is a smart kid and he'll succeed. He's going to go to college. And as you know, dyslexia does not determine intelligence. Still, this is a fairly new journey for us as a family, and we are educated parents with the means to support him. We encourage the board to continue this important work for all the parents and families who don't have the time and means to invest. We encourage the board and the Nebraska Department of Education to build on the Nebraska Technical Assistance Document for Dyslexia and provide even more tools for parents. Perhaps a web page to turn to for more resources and tools to pursue the assistance that will make a difference for these kids. As I mentioned, this is a new journey for us. I am sharing a fresh perspective, both a word of thanks and encouragement to continue championing for the students and families who might be held back from reaching their absolute full potential.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Our next request is from Matt Litt.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Again, my name is Matt Litt. I'm the Nebraska Director of Americans for Prosperity, and I'm here this morning representing 4 organizations, our own, Educate Nebraska, the Learn Coalition, and School Choice Lincoln. And we're organizations that advocate for more education options for Nebraska families. We felt after the release of the preliminary state assessment results that it further highlighted the need for new approaches. So I have a coalition letter that was just passed out, and I'd like to present that to the board. So dear members of the Nebraska Board of Education, the preliminary results of this year's state assessments show that nearly half of our 3rd through 8th grade students are not proficient in English language arts, and 46% of high school juniors are not on track in the subject area. Swift and concerted action must be taken to reverse this trend and ensure that every child in Nebraska has the opportunity to receive a high-quality education. Therefore, on behalf of the undersigned organizations, we urge this board to publicly support expanding educational opportunities that have proven to benefit student learning and be particularly transformational for students struggling in their zone schools. It is our estimation that the new ELA assessment presents a more accurate picture of where we've been. In other words, many have been struggling in the current system for years now. We just didn't know the extent of it. Math and science scores are likely to follow similar patterns in the coming years. We believe it's time to allow for new educational opportunities in Nebraska. Families need to be empowered to choose the educational model that best meets each of their children's unique needs, whether that model is the neighborhood district school or another innovative option. No child should be stuck in a school or a system that isn't helping him or her succeed and reach his or her full potential. For too many children in Nebraska, this is the case today. We urge the board to join us in advocating for all children by empowering every family with the opportunity to choose schools that best fit their children's individual needs, whether that best fit comes in the form of a traditional district school, a public charter school, or a private school here in Nebraska. Sincerely, myself, Matt Litt, Katie Linehan, Executive Director of Educate Nebraska, Clarice Jackson, President of the Learn Coalition, and Deb Ports and Rachel Terry of School Choice Lincoln. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Our third request is from Rachel Pinkerton. Rachel? You'll have 5 minutes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, here's an update on our friend Ms. Lawton. I don't know if you've been following the the story about the incident that occurred in front of the Union on August 25th, as I mentioned last month, and the aftermath. The Kobe Mack has been following this, and from social media, I noticed that he had posted that Ms. Lawton was going to be back on the teaching schedule in January. He posted a photo of the registration where you could mark, I'm going to take her class at 9 o'clock 3 times a week. And there was quite a bit of pushback, and later that same day, the course offering was changed to instructor to be announced. So whether that means Ms. Lawton is not going to be in the classroom, or they just don't want us to know she's going to be in the classroom, that remains to be seen. I do have to say I am a groupie. I'm a Chancellor Ronnie Green groupie, and Pat can attest to this. Before this ever happened, as a grad, I get this magazine, and this is someone who I thought had a lot of potential to address a learning environment that even back in '71 when I went there was biased. And I think we have to acknowledge it's gotten a lot more biased, and in fact the English department, it seems, has been hijacked and is taking off to a social justice destination that I'm afraid isn't incidental to what's happening with our English language arts. There's for a friend, Mr. Burke were here, he would say, well, obviously we need those type 1 standards, and if you look, I'm just hoping now, Chancellor Green, the reason I'm so excited about his background, I don't know how well you've researched this guy, but this is a fact person. Animal science is his background. His first ambition was to be a veterinarian, and then he was going to wanted to be a beef cattle geneticist. And the aversion to facts that we see so often, and that have been frustrated to see when you're doing your standards efforts, and I'm hoping somebody's going to come from the university and get us back on a course to excellence and to facts, and such as with the science, we don't see that. Anyway, I'm hoping that Chancellor Green will get out of denial about what this says about our climate. It's not an isolated case, and make the necessary course corrections. Just also in that vein, you may remember Dr. Paul Von Baron. He's come before you on the science. I don't know if you noticed, he has been appointed to the Nebraska Coordinating Commission for Post-Secondary Education. And my dream is that he'll sit down with the chancellor, because he actually is a veterinarian, and also just very cool, smart guy who loves the truth and is humble. And then I'm going to conclude, speaking of worldview, we have the opportunity to have an activist in our midst named Annie Cyrus, and I am going to, would you be so kind, Mr. Ford? The Julians and I will be attending the Council Bluffs meeting tomorrow, where these women will be speaking. The Real War on Women, Annie Cyrus, as you see, is an American Iranian human rights activist who speaks from her own very brutal experience, and also what she is doing to help other women and girls who are victims of Sharia. And to open our eyes on Sharia would be a huge gift, and maybe we'll have see if we can get a meeting where Harris Payne would sit down and with Ms. Cyrus and hear a little bit about her worldview and from her experience. So thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. Okay. We'll take just a short break as we normally do after public comment, so about 5 minutes, please. We will call the meeting back into session. We have no hearings today, so we will move on to the action items. Item 7. Maureen, is there a motion to approve from your committee?
Yes, from the Teaching and Learning Committee, I move to approve the Skilled and Technical Sciences Content Area Standards.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Maureen?
I would just like to add that these standards are not standards that are being used as to be tested against. They are just there for districts to use, to follow, to be encouraged, that these are the things that we would like to see.
Okay,
So they're not mandatory.
thank you. Anything else? Denise, please call the roll.
Patsy Co-Johns,
Yes.
John Witzel,
Yes.
Patricia Tim,
Yes.
Patrick McPherson,
Yes.
Maureen Nichols,
Yes.
Molly O'Halloran,
Yes.
Rachel Wise,
Yes.
Lisa Fricky.
Yes.
8 yes.
Motion passes. Maureen, is there a motion to approve the
Yes,
agricultural, food, and natural
I
resources?
move to approve the Agriculture, Food, and Natural Resources Content Area Standards.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
And again, I would just like to add
Okay.
that these are not mandatory standards. They're just used for districts as guidelines and good
Okay,
standards to follow.
all right. Denise, please call the roll.
Rachel Wise,
Yes.
Molly O'Halloran,
Yes.
Maureen Nichols,
Yes.
Lisa Fricky,
Yes.
Patsy Co-Johns,
Yes.
John Witzel,
Yes.
Patricia Tim,
Yes,
Patrick McPherson.
Yes.
8 yes.
thank you. Molly, are there motions from your committee?
Yes, I move, my thing just jumped. I move to authorize the Commissioner to approve Title IV-A School Support and Academic Enrichment Grants for the 2017-18 school year.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
I just wanted to say one thing. I think it's kind of cool on these grants because it's talking about well-rounded opportunities, which have to be 20% of the money allocated. Second one is the safe and healthy students, and then, of course, effective use of technology.
Thank you. Okay. Anyone else? Denise, please call the roll.
Patrick McPherson,
Yes.
Patricia Tim,
Yes.
John Witzel,
Yes.
Patsy Co-Johns,
Yes.
Maureen Nichols,
Yes.
Molly O'Halloran,
Yes.
Rachel Wise,
Yes.
Lisa Fricky.
Yes.
8 yes.
Motion passes. We will move on to 7.3, which is the Policy Committee. I'm asking for a motion to approve the State Board Position Statement S13. Lisa?
I have it listed as 7.3.A, is this
Yes.
correct? Okay. I move to adopt the model policy, and I'll repeat, model policy for pregnant and parenting students with the addition of the explanatory text at the top as proposed by the Policy Committee.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Denise, our votes, please.
John Witzel,
Yes.
Patricia Tim,
Yes.
Patrick McPherson,
Yes.
Maureen Nichols,
Yes.
Molly O'Halloran,
Yes.
Lisa Fricky,
Yes.
Patsy Co-Johns,
Yes.
Rachel Wise.
Yes.
8 yes.
Motion passes. I'm again asking for a motion to approve the revisions to the State Board Bylaw B20.
Thank you, ma'am. I move we approve revisions of State Board Bylaw B20, formerly B16, which applies to school board association, change to board membership in associations.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? This doesn't change any of the content of the policy, it's just changing the name. Okay, Denise, will you please call the roll?
Excuse me. Lisa Fricky,
Yes.
Patsy Co-Johns,
Yes.
Rachel Wise,
Yes.
John Witzel,
Yes.
Molly O'Halloran,
Yes.
Patricia Tim,
Yes.
Maureen Nichols,
Yes.
Patrick McPherson.
Yes.
8 yes.
Motion passes. I'm asking for a motion on 7.3.c to approve the revisions to the State Board Policy P7, teaching certificates.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I move to adopt the proposed revisions to State Board Policy P7, teaching certificates, with the addition of the last sentence in the last paragraph as proposed by the Policy Committee.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Molly. Any discussion?
I'd
Patrick?
just like to say I had some issues with punctuation or phraseology in the last month, and I appreciate the fact that those have been addressed.
Thank you. Okay, please call the roll.
Molly O'Halloran,
Yes.
Maureen Nichols,
Yes.
Patricia Tim,
Yes.
Patrick McPherson,
Yes?
John Witzel,
Yes.
Patsy Ko-Johns,
Yes.
Rachel Wise.
Yes.
Lisa Fricky.
Yes.
8 yes.
The motion passes. We'll move on to 8.2. Commissioner, do we have any changes in the consent agenda?
I move approval of the consent agenda.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Your votes, please.
Patricia Tim,
Yes.
Maureen Nichols,
Yes.
Molly O'Halloran.
Yes.
Lisa Fricky,
Yes.
John Witzel,
Yes.
Patrick McPherson,
Yes.
Rachel Wise.
Yes.
Patsy Ko-Johns.
Yes.
8 yes.
Okay. The consent agenda has been approved. And we move to item 10. I don't believe we have any special presentations today. So with this first one is on meeting participation. Is there a motion to approve the meeting participation that was discussed yesterday?
I'll make the
And-
motion.
Okay, thank you, John.
Second.
Any other discussion? I hope if there were other meetings that you were planning to attend, that you saw Ryan and Laura. Okay, your votes, please.
Maureen Nichols,
Yes.
Lisa Fricky,
Yes.
Patsy Ko-Johns,
Yes.
Patrick McPherson,
Yes.
Patricia Tim,
Yes.
Rachel Wise,
Yes.
John Witzel.
Yes.
Molly O'Halloran.
Yes.
8 yes.
Okay. The rest of the agenda, there are information items and written reports for the board, and those are on your computer. So, we're adjourned. Thank you very much. A work session will be held on Thursday, December 7th at 2 p.m. and a board meeting held on Friday, December 8th at 9 a.m. in this room. Thank you for attending, and have a good day.